Okay, Jamal, what's going on with your team's defense? That seemed like not the defense that the Magic have been playing much of the last couple years.
Give them credit. They got some guards that can go out and attack and get downhill and space the floor, what they do. But we do have to be better. Mixing in how physical we are with defending without fouling. We got guys that get downhill, our ability to protect the rim, keep them out of the paint. Tyrese Maxey was able to get loose, and I think that's a big key of it. So,
can the Magic play this fast on offense without sacrificing an element of its identity of tough, hard-nosed, physical defense?
You got to be able to do both, and I think in this situation, what you're looking at for what happened tonight, we can say the defensive effort was part of it, but also 14 turnovers for 20 points. You're not giving yourself a chance on the defensive end of the floor. You missed 12 free throws. You're not giving yourself a chance with those possessions. And so defensively, if you don't turn it over 14 for 20, you're now allowing teams to play in the half court. Now that's a big portion of it. So we've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball, and then we've got to knock down our free throws when we do get to that line.
You guys pulled within two there midway through the fourth. What did you see down the stretch that kind of gave Philly the momentum back?
Yeah, I think that was the discipline that we have to have in those moments. I think coming down, got a couple stops, and then we tried to make home run plays. And I think in those moments is where we've got to make sure we stay disciplined, that we lock into the game plan and understand exactly what we need to do in those moments. We chipped away by being solid, getting stops to be able to get out and run and converting on the other end. And that's what we have to do to sustain that effort.
Normally you guys are excellent in forcing turnovers, and Philly only had 7. What did you see as far as not being able to kind of turn them over?
They have guards that are able to multiple ball handlers and scoring guards, so when they get downhill, they're just looking to go score it. And our guys' ability to either get a hand on the basketball wasn't necessarily there tonight, but you got to give them credit. The screens that they were setting to get their guys open, and those guys were downhill, not trying to look for passes more than it was just try to get downhill to score.
I know the free throw percentage is not quite what you want it to be, but you guys continue to get to the free throw line. Is it just a matter of being physical and aggressive?
We got to be smart when we get to the line. We got to sit down, take our time, go through your routine, and be ready to knock your shot down.
Just how much of a change, how much of this is in terms of the way the offense is playing, a difference for the way guys play, in terms of an adjustment?
Yeah, I think there's an adjustment anytime you add new, anytime you create a new style of play, there's going to be an adjustment period. Unfortunately, we've been on the other side of it with the wins and losses, but there's adjustments that will be made. There's chemistry that will continue to grow with this group, and that's what this group is. The resiliency that they possess will allow them to get this process a little bit faster together.
Given that this team played at one of the slowest paces last year and forced opposing offenses to really have to work and grind it out, does this fit your personnel to play this fast?
Yes, because it's creating advantages. I think for us it's creating advantages, and that's what we've continued to talk about. How do we create advantages for us in the open court? And our defense, though it didn't create turnovers tonight, it has allowed us to get out on the break and get open looks. Now that's the other side of it, that we got to make sure we convert those open looks, but it has allowed us to continue to play defensively aggressive and then get out. Tonight was not one of those nights where we were able to do it, but that's exactly who we can and continue to be.
Do you feel like the chemistry between Paolo, Franz, and Desmond is going in the direction that you want it to?
Absolutely. I do believe it's starting to click, and like anything new, time you add different pieces, it takes a moment to get those pieces to all gel, but it's such a tight-knit group that they continue to communicate with one another, the things that we need to do, what they see on the floor, and those moments will continue to show and shine.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Paolo, you guys were within 2 there midway through the fourth. What did you see down the stretch that gave Philly the momentum back?
Just think we made some costly plays on both sides. Let Maxey kind of hit some big shots down the stretch to put the game out of reach, and then we turned it over on offense.
How would you assess the defense so far this season, including tonight?
Definitely not what we're used to. Hasn't been very good, giving up a lot of points, but that's kind of what you give up when you speed the pace up. Teams are able to, get out and run, and causes, cross matches and miscommunication and stuff like that. So, we just got to figure it out.
The chemistry with you, Desmond, and Franz, what's your assessment of that at this point?
Between us three?
Yeah, between you guys three, just sort of gelling with one another.
I mean, it's good. I don't think it hasn't been good. I just think, as a team as a whole, our chemistry can get better, and we need to play better.
Given how fast the team is playing on offense, just how much of an adjustment does it require from you and your teammates to not have that bleed into the defense and make your defense not as effective as it had been?
I think, like I said, playing fast, you're going to give up some more points just because it speeds the game up and there's more possessions. But I think we need to be smarter just about how fast we're playing. I think if you're just going fast without any direction, it's not the best. I think, direction is more important than speed. So we can play fast, but if there's no direction, then it's going to be tough.
And is that the kind of thing that you're only 4 games into this, and you also have new personnel, etc. Is that something that just comes in time? A better feel for what the good shots are, how to find a teammate, etc. Given the stylistic change.
Everything gets better with time, but at the same time, you can't just sit around and wait for it to happen. This is a tough league. There's a lot of good teams in this league. That team that just beat us had 3 of their best players out. So you can't just drop games and say that it's going to get better with time. You have to act now, and you got to be better. So I wouldn't say that we're being complacent. I think stuff needs to change, and we got to be better.
As one of the leaders of the team, what do you tell your teammates to keep their spirits high?
We can't hang our heads. It's early in the season, but like I said, it's not an excuse. We have to have a real sense of urgency. We can't just become used to dropping games like this. We're going to put ourselves in a bad position if we have that mentality. So we got to have a sense of urgency out there.
Have you guys got a couple more gears to kick the defense into overdrive? Like more? Can you guys play tougher, more physical on that end?
Definitely. I think we can play a lot better on both sides of the ball. I don't think either side has been really great so far. So, and I think we just have to kick it in high gear overall, defense and offense.
Thanks a lot. Desmond, in some ways, that was kind of a strange game. A lot of trips to the foul line, not too many forced turnovers for your team. How do you make heads or tails of that game tonight?
We can be better. We definitely can be better. We got to be better. Both ends of the floor. I feel like it's the small things, little details that are getting us beat. Some of our closeouts, fouling, offensive rebounding. A lot of the things that we talk about, we got to put them into action.
I know you weren't here last year, but you came from a hard-nosed team. This is a hard-nosed team. Playing so fast on offense, does that make it difficult to defend in the way that this team had been accustomed to?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, it's hard to win in this league. It's hard to do anything in this league, but there is a way to do both, and we have to in order to win.
You guys had it within 2 there midway through the 4th. What did you see down the stretch that kind of gave Philly the momentum back?
There was a play in transition where we didn't get matched up. Foul Maxey, allowing him to get to his right hand. We talked about dictating this morning, and I felt like we didn't do a very good job of that. And he's a great player, give him credit, but he gave us problems all night long, and we just didn't execute the finish, and that's on me. There's no way I can put myself in a position where I'm not on the floor at the end of the game.
Normally you guys force opponents into a lot of turnovers. Philly only had 7 tonight. What made it tough to turn them over?
Give them credit. We didn't, like I said, we didn't dictate enough. Maxey and Edgecombe, Oubre, comfortable. They were very comfortable, and that's not us.
Where do you feel the chemistry is at right now between you, Paolo, and Franz?
It's continuing to grow. Franz didn't play in much of camp just because he was coming from Eurobasket. Jay Suggs is coming back into the fold, so everything, always takes time. But I do feel like we have a really close-knit team, and we're trending into the right direction.
The shot clock violation your team forced there, I think it was in the third quarter, looked like it could have been a momentum turner. Did you feel like at that point in the game that the momentum was really starting to shift toward the Magic?
I thought we were playing good basketball. I thought we were doing it on both ends of the floor. Getting downhill. Paolo kind of had it going. Getting a stop to the point where we get a shot clock violation. I had a terrible foul. We're down 2, and I close out on Grimes on that 3, and stuff like that is the difference between wins and losses. So I own that completely.
Thank you, Desmond. Appreciate it.